This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, and as it's Tuesday, obviously we are live as usual, never taped, never delayed, always live on over 103 outlets around the world, and I love this. So out of iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Anchor, everything you can think of, and streaming on the Worldwide TV Network, which is formerly the Women's Broadcast TV Network. We're still number one on that, Tosh, believe it, after 3 years. WomenOnTV.tv and iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee, with now 7,500,000 views and counting. So what makes this show special is because it's all about women as usual. Not only a woman engineer, Rebel, not only it's vocally Tosh from Miami, Florida, singer-songwriter, and that dancer who always makes me laugh. And I was talking about you, Tosh, this weekend because of what you did. And you know what, Tosh? I'm going to save this. I'm going to let you say what you did with Natasha. And
yeah.
So, Kris, let's talk about this. It's always about being that producer, that art director, that set director, that artist, that entrepreneur. I love the fact, and I did see this film, and I didn't know that you had did it, and it was American Terror Story.
Yes, yes.
And I think the other one was, because I do this all off the top of my head, the Village That Sleeps, and then Jovi and Lovi, is that it?
Jovi and Lou.
Jovi and Lou. So I'm glad yes. I do these things, but it's always great to have women like that. So I got to welcome you to the show on that, first of all, and then Tosh, I'm going to let you, with your newfound friend, talk about how this young lady started, because I found them on, RV Remax on Hulu. And I just like, what is this show about? I love anything with RVs. And I'm like, I saw this episode, I think it was the third episode. I'm like, this lady's got a lot of energy. And I'm like, if you like family, you like your kids, and you're a dog lover, I want to reach out to you. And I said, Tosh, let's see if we can reach out. You guys are both in Miami. Let's see what can we make this happen. Because we love kids. We love animals. And I'm like, anybody who likes to bake, this has got to be fun. So, Tosh, I'll let you say what happened, how you guys met, because you guys are both in the same city. I'm not.
Yeah, so hello everyone, I'm Natasha Rumbos, vocally Tasha as Brian calls me, and me and Natasha, both same names, met last week, actually last Wednesday for the first time, and she gave me an exclusive tour of her Bake It on Wheels bus, which honestly, from the outside, you don't even notice how big everything and spacious it is on the inside. And I had the pleasure to, kind of live the whole experience just by myself, but it was nice. Me and Natasha, she was kind of pushing me through all the little, activities that the kids would do, when it comes to baking, the options that they have. And there's a little sprinkle bar. I did a whole cute little reel on it, which you guys can see on my Instagram and on her Instagram too, vocally Tosh and Bake It on Wheels. And Natasha has a lot to say about her whole experience with baking, which she told me she's been doing for a long time. And her business is a huge success right now. So Natasha, come on by and let us know everything that we need to know about Bake It on Wheels.
So my name is Natasha O'Connor. I am the founder and creator of Bake It on Wheels. It's the first ever baking party experience bus. So how did it come about? It pretty much was a passion of mine. I love kids. I love baking. I love delivering a good time. If they're happy, I'm happy. It's all about the great experience. So what do? We bring the baking party experience to the customer's doorstep. So you don't have to worry about party prep. You don't have to worry about cleaning up. You don't have to worry about frosting and sprinkles in your house. We take care of the entire experience right there inside the bus. So the kids jump on the bus and they bake with us.
You know what's funny about that is I love your commitment to the service. That I'm a clean black guy. You know, I'm the guy that brings the Lysol to the movie theaters. I'm not kidding, Kris. I actually do that, and I wipe down the seats because
I could understand
it's all
that.
about that. You know, I do these things like that. So when I first saw this on Remix RV, and I'm like, first of all, it's clean. It has to be that way. It's kids. And then you wanted a certain style when it came to things, and I'm like, this is great. I gotta find this young lady. And the fact that Tosh was able, because she can find almost anybody, that she was able to define you, I'm like, I don't have time. She's good at it. I'm like, this is great. I think this would be great. And I'm like, why can't she do this for movie sets? Why can't she do this for certain things? And so my brain thinks like that. And as I was just listening to you, I'm like, I think this is something Kris might want to have on her future sets. You just never know. And I always go, well, why not? Why can't you be at Tyler Perry's studio? Why not? The answer is you can.
We could be anywhere. It's mobile.
It would be a great idea, kind of like when we bring catering in. You know, we bring in, you know, like the baking truck, and we all get to take a little break from working. You know, when we work, we do 12-hour days minimum, you know, shooting on film sets. So it would be great sometime to have a little break, maybe right before we go into post-production, you know, as we do a wrap party, things like that. Bring you guys on set and everyone just kind of have fun, and we don't have to do the cleanup. I love that idea.
Come on and do cupcakes or donuts or cookies, whatever the time allows.
Yeah,
we have it all inside the bus.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love that. I'm sitting here going, wait, why are you guys in Miami? Why are you not out here in LA? Because that's where I am. So
we're going.
That doesn't mean she's not coming.
Exactly. It's a franchise. So we just recently franchised, and we sold our first franchise within the first 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then we were featured on Big RV Remix, which was a great experience. Working with that team was totally out of my comfort zone. But I did it, and it ended up being a huge success. I'm forever grateful for that opportunity. Anyways, so then that's it. You know, now that we franchised, we've had a lot of applicants and a lot of feedback of people who are interested in the franchise opportunity. So hopefully Chicago, Tampa, Jacksonville, and LA, you never know.
Yeah, it could work all over. I mean, just think about it. As a parent, I remember when my kids were young, if I had something like this, I would have used it every birthday.
Me too. Believe me, I wish I had this when I was a child.
Yeah. It would have been great just to just for so many reasons. I mean, you know, that's why you started the business, you know. So
exactly.
It's a great idea. Yes. I wish I had come up with it.
I know. Welcome Howard Wiggins from Nashville, Tennessee. Howard, it's good to see you. And Kris, talk about this. Talk about what it's like to be in your shoes, because producing has changed these days. And I love the fact that any woman producer out there, especially if she's a set designer, these jobs aren't easy. Can you talk about how you started and then how did you end up with Terry? That's interesting.
It's kind of a long story. I'll try to make it short.
I got time.
I've known Terry for a really long time, 30 years probably. We did all kinds of different business dealings and things like that over the years. And I guess in about 2015, 2016, he started getting into the film business. And he knew I was looking to do something different. I was looking to change the types of businesses that I was in. And he said, hey, come do a 48-hour film festival with us. And I thought, okay, we'll see. And so I did that. And for you guys who don't know, 48-hour film festival is you have 48 hours to make a film that I think is about 7 or 8 minutes long. And it was a lot of fun. I got hooked, basically. I got hooked by the film bug. So I started taking a few classes at film school, and I met my mentor by the name of Frederickson, who was the producer on the Godfathers 1, 2, and 3, did The Outsiders, did many, many things. And while I was taking his class, he said, what did you get into film for? And for me, it was the art department. I love the art department, and that's what I wanted to do. Was really, my whole idea was that I want to take an idea off of paper and turn it into to real life on the screen, and he asked me what I had done in the past, and I had told him about my businesses, and he was like, "Oh, I'm familiar with that business." He was familiar with my company that was local there, and he says, "You should be a producer." And I thought, oh, I don't want to produce, I want to be in the art department because that's so much more fun. And he goes, "No, you'd make a really good producer." And so, to make a long story short, Terry and I were making our first film, and we didn't really know what we were doing, but we were having a lot of fun. And then we went to make our second one, and I realized that he really kind of needed a lot more help on the producing end of it. So I kind of jumped in there. And by our third one, I realized that I was actually pretty good at the producing, and that Gray had been right, because producing is very much like running a business. So my business background really bled over into producing. And I enjoy producing a lot, and I am pretty good at it. But my heart just loves the art department as well. So that's kind of how I got into the business.
So Howard, talk about this. As that former one of the world's best interior designers, that actor, that dancer, and that classy all-around guy, talk about what is that like? What does acting do for you? And you have a taste for art and obviously designing. Tasha's in room number 115 today. Talk about that aspect of things.
Well, the way I change my look, the way I change my clothes, I like to have different personalities. I like to have people talk about me. I like to be in the limelight. It's not what I was born with. I had to make myself like that. And once I did, I loved it. Actually, it came about when I was an interior designer and I went to market and I spoke to people in public, and which I never liked to do. But when I'm talking about something I know I'm talking about, I love it. I mean, the attention I got, and people coming up to you after the fact and telling you how much they enjoyed hearing you and like you and all that kind of stuff. It just kind of brushes through the adrenaline, and it just like, yeah, I'll go for this.
Yeah. So Tosh, talk about this. Being that singer-songwriter, the person who uploads our stuff, who creates our flyers, who does a lot of things. I was telling Natasha about Wonderama, Charles Armstrong, and Junior, and you singing in Times Square. Talk about that for them, because I actually want to hook her up with them.
Yeah, so that was actually a year ago that craziness happened, which was beautiful and scary at the same time, because I've never been in such a big stage like the Times Square stage. So when we had the opportunity to interview him, like how you and I are talking right now, and he was like, "Oh, you're a singer? We're looking for singers for the taping of our show. Would you like to go to New York?" And I'm like, "Are you serious right now?" So I was like, you know what? Like, this is for my career. This is like gonna come out and the outcome is gonna be amazing. So I went, and it was one of the greatest things I've ever experienced. They were basically filming all of their season 7, and it was like a bunch of kids, and they were doing like those games that you do when you're like younger, like the pie, the pie one, the little duck goose. So like it was just so nice to kind of like reminisce on like my childhood and to kind of see it play out on stage, and then me perform, which was crazy. I brought my mom and my grandma, and we all cried together, and it was just so beautiful. And I honestly think, oh my God, Natasha in Wonderama, like with Bacon on Wheels, that would be amazing and perfect, because it matches so well. Like, your theme is all about kids, but I know you also do adults, baking and booze, which you were talking to me about. So I feel like it's just perfect for any type of event. But Wonderama would be beautiful, like amazing. Brian, you got to get that connection in for Natasha.
I'm going to let you do this now that you know Chuck, but I'll do it on the back end, because anybody who comes on, it's about putting everybody together. That's what I like to do. And Kris, this is about producing. Again, Kris reached out, and I will talk to anybody who reaches out, and I go, as long as you can get my phone number now. You're not going to get it after the end of the year, because I'm going into lockdown at that point. So I said, if she took the time to do this, it's important to talk about her films. It's important to have her on. That's really important, because independent film is kicking butt this year, especially with a strike. So Kris, you can never not talk about your films. The problem is you don't always get that outlet, which I don't think is fair.
That is very true. At times, being the independent filmmaker, it's hard for us to find our audience, and really be heard. The big studios, they just have so much more money. They have a whole machine. So it's very difficult for me. So I really appreciate, I think I told you when I reached out, I did a lot of research and I reached out to, I believe, about 30 different people. And I think 4 got back to me and of course you were one of them. So I really appreciate what you do, Brian, and that you take the time to reach out to us once we've reached out to you, and that you give us this platform.
It's important. Like I said, when I'm in Los Angeles, because I'm all over the place until I get on my property the next 3 months. It's one of these things, as soon as I got back, I was at the Jewish Film Festival, found some great films there. I was at the Latino Film Festival, right? They overlapped right after that. I was at the Greek Film Festival. I did Dances with Films. I did Outfest, back to back to back. This is a lot of stuff. I'm getting old to do this stuff, but I've always remembered, this is about filmmakers. It's about putting people together. It's about finding stuff for Howard. It's about finding stuff for Tosh, and Chef Rachel Roberts, who's sick today in Houston, Texas. Terry, who's coming on, who's just at the doctor's with her mom. This is why this show is important. That's why we do well around the world with all this stuff doing. I don't see people doing this, and it bothers me. I think it's a travesty. There's no reason that Natasha can't be every place, and she's going to be every place because she's got that work ethic. And that's why I wanted to, I like this girl's energy. And I said, Tosh, you got to reach out for me. You represent me in Florida, so go for it. And then I was glad that they connected. Talk about those photos in that music video that you did, Tosh.
Oh, yes, my latest single, Hangyar, which came out a couple months ago, was one of my greatest songs up to this day. Less than 2 months, it hit 1,000 views. Oh, that's the cover art of my single. And it's a very, very fun song. It's a very summer song. You kind of listen to it and you want to go and start your day and, go out and hang out with the girls, go and bake some cookies, bake some, you've always got to add all that little activities in there, but it's honestly, right now on Spotify, it's reached 10,000 streams, so I am freaking proud because I'm an independent artist. I do everything by myself, and, it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and I'm not going to lie, there are some times that I'm just is it really worth it? And then I remind myself, yes, it is. It is worth it because I'm going to look back a couple years from now and I'm going to be like, I did that. And I am where I am. So
it does. And it takes a lot of discipline too, which is so hard. You should really, any of us that do what the 5 of us do, it takes discipline, so pat yourself on the back for that because that's something that's not everyone has.
Exactly. And courage. Aside from discipline, it takes a lot of courage. It's very easy to go and work for somebody and, have a boss, but it's very hard to do things on your own. And you never lose, you only learn. And there's always ups and downs and peaks and pits, but that's what business and, entrepreneurship and individuality, where you do things by yourself, not with a corporate. So Tasha, keep doing it. You're going to get there. It's going to be worth it.
I was very happy that you guys connected, and I always say if you think about the Food That Built America, which is on Hulu, some of it is on Netflix. Everybody started with a great idea. They just didn't know how to get it out there, and that's what I was thinking of, Natasha, what you were doing on that. And I still love stuff like that. I think about what Howard did, and he's probably tired of me saying, Howard, tell us more, tell us a story. Howard, I'm going to make you tell us a country story today with somebody, so you get a chance to think about it. But it's one of those things where those things are important because unless you ask, you don't know where these people came from, what kind of hard work they went into doing everything. And with Rebel, with that comes, let's take a look at this clip because I thought this was funny when Tosh told me about it today.
It's Tosh, baby. A mí me gusta janguear. A mí me gusta Llevamos el weekend pasado en repeat. Traigo a la nena pa' aprender esta vaina. Somos las primeras en la pista sin falta. Pa' arriba, pa' abajo, pa' el centro y pa' adentro.
Yeah, that was our little meetup last week, and I was like, I gotta make this super cute. I mean, the experience was so great, and like honestly, like when I have kids or when I have my girls' night and we want to like do baking stuff, like this is like the perfect idea. And you also have glow in the dark like cookies and themes also. Like Natasha has so many things going on. It's like, wow, like what else can I get from this experience?
Thanks. Yes, we do. We have like glow in the dark where you always have to keep yourself fresh. If you don't keep yourself fresh, you become an afterthought. So always want to be the top. So I always introduce new packages, new themes. Barbie's coming out. So we're doing like a whole Barbie and Ken thing. We're doing Monster Mash for Halloween. We just finished summer camps and schools and preschools. So there's always something new going on.
Hey, Natasha, talk about the cake and candy show. What was it like doing that, and are you still doing that?
So I've been hosting a cake supply expo for 7 years. This year would be the 7th year. And yes, I still do that. So along with Bake It on Wheels, I host the largest cake supply expo in the United States. So what exactly is it? We invite manufacturers and distributors, companies that make every and anything cake supplies. So we have a vendor hall area with over 120 booths, and then we invite about 5,000 people from around the world, as far as Ghana. I mean, you name it, they come. And they come and they teach classes to students who are looking to learn how to get better with their art, their creativity. So that show happens at the end of April every year. And this year it's April 26th, 27th, and 28th of 2024.
All right, Tosh, you're going to be there.
Oh, you
Tasha should be there. Yes, come and enjoy it.
And Terry, you should go too. All right, so from Sherman Oaks, California, nonstop, Terry Marie. All right, Terry, tell them who you are, what you do.
I have been with Brian since 2008, I believe, 17, co-hosting Red Carpet. A fitness freak. I've won several trophies at MPC, Miss Fitness Universe. Muscle Beach, I play third place. I'm also an artist. I am a corporate business person and a day trader, and that's why I'm locked up, because I do a variety of things. Filming tomorrow some more video for Wicked Stars videos, because I'll be in 2 of their videos coming up. And I'm sorry I'm late, guys. I'm also taking care of my mom, who's elderly, so I had to go to the doctor today, and I just got back late today, so that's why I'm late. But I had a question about the cake. So you're in Miami? Is that what you said? I missed that. Are you in Miami? Okay. My cousin, I don't know if you knew who Wendy Wyndham is, but she was a big variety host in Italy, and she's really into cake baking. So I was just wondering if you know her, or if she's been to your events.
What is her name? I'm sorry?
Wendy Wyndham. She was a big time variety host back in the 90s in Italy. And she lives in Miami. Huh?
I don't think I've hosted her yet, but I'm sure she may know of the show. I mean, people from around the world come to the show.
Yeah, she's really big into like making cakes and bakery and stuff. So maybe
I'll write her name down. Let me write her name down before I forget. I'll definitely take a look. Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll hook up on Instagram. I was just curious because I mean she just loves to do that kind of stuff. She posts her cakes on Instagram and stuff. So it's a small world, sometimes.
You never know. Networking is how you take things to the next level. You never know who you meet and when you need them.
That's very true.
Hey, Kris, talk about this real quick, and then I'm going to Howard. I'm going to go to you after that. Talk about what it's like to be that producer that you are now, and what are you looking for in case someone wants to know what it's like to be you?
What it's like to be me. It seems like I spend a lot of my time finding solutions to problems and putting out fires, which I think all of you guys could probably relate to. As a producer, I'm always looking for investors into the film industry, into the movie industry, and I'm always looking for ideas. In fact, as we sit here and I'm thinking about the Bake on Wheels, I'm sitting here literally going, how can I put this into a movie? Wouldn't that be great? I've never seen a scene done like in a bus with people baking, it could be a lot of fun. You know, I mean, just think about all the different ideas that we could do with that. And it's like, I mean, because I'm looking at your background behind you there, and I'm like, that would be a beautiful place to do a scene. You know, how could I do that? We could put that into a comedy, you know, you just never know. I mean, look at those colors are great. And
it's really beautiful. It's beautiful and it's spacious. Like it's perfect. It's really perfect.
Yes. So, and this is where the art director in me is always thinking as well, because as the producer, I'm starting to think, how could I make this around a movie? How could I make a movie around this? You know, because the art director likes what she sees, you know, and it's aesthetically pleasing. So now the producer's like, oh, how can I make a movie about this? So that kind of got a little off topic to your question, but you know, that's kind of how my mind works.
Can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead, Rebel.
Please.
Okay, so I got the perfect horror movie with the bus, the baking bus thing. Okay, I'm sorry. Could you imagine making a horror movie on the baking bus? It would be perfect.
Oh, yes.
I think that's a great idea. I've made 8 different movies, and it's been a little while since I've made a horror film, and both Terry and I were talking the other day. We really want to get back to horror because they're just so much fun to make. I mean, they're just making horror is just the most fun. And I would just, the idea of making it on a baking bus, it's a good idea.
I like it. I'm always open to suggestions and new ideas, so let's do it.
I'm gonna have to throw it out there to my writer friends and say, hey, write around this concept, see what you can bring me.
I can have it written for you by the end of next week.
Thank you.
She will. Hey, Howard, talk about this. I always wondered, what's the difference between that, one of the world's best interior designers, and being also Kris being that art director? Are you guys looking at the same things in a different genre? Is that kind of true in a way?
Well, mine's interior design only. So, I mean, when I got in Andrew Martin Volume 3, it was against thousands and thousands of people around the world. And I didn't even have a professional photographer. I knew somebody that knew me and said, I'll do it for you. And I did it at last minute. And it was almost a year before they selected the 35 people to be in the book. But when they called me and told me I was in it, I actually cried tears of joy for the very first time in the park. And I just, it's a very emotional thing for when I got that award, because I mean, I didn't expect it. I just tried for it, and I got it. So, but I know what
Howard,
people are looking for.
You deserve everything that you want.
Yeah.
You worked your butt off for things.
Yeah, I think I know why I got it. I collect art pretty much in the hallway where some of the art is now anyway. And when I look back at my pictures and everybody else's pictures, most people were sitting in like living rooms and dining rooms and what you normally see in regular magazines. But I featured my art gallery. Well, not everybody has an art gallery. So I think that's what set me apart from the others, you know, to do a room that most people don't have.
And talk about the room you're in, Howard, number 115.
This is the upstairs art gallery. Actually, I went shopping today, and I'm going shopping.
Of course you did.
I bought, let's see, I don't know if I can show you too. I bought one little painting. Let's see.
And ladies, his house is like a museum.
You can't see it.
He's never in the same room.
You'll have to go on my Facebook and see what I bought. But I bought 2 paintings yesterday, and then I'm going to tomorrow, and I have 3 paintings that are framed. To me, framing is just.
Oh.
See, that's how.
Okay, there I come back. Okay.
There we go.
Tomorrow I'm going to pick up 3 things that are framed. To me, framing is just as important as the art itself. And so a lot of times I'll have artwork for years before I get it framed, because I'll just look for the right frame. And then sometimes I'll buy artwork because I did find a frame that I want the artwork to go in. So, you know, I'm all about aesthetics, as you can tell. You know, I change my look all the time. I change my house all the time. So,
all right, talk about what you're wearing.
Huh? What did you say?
What you're wearing? Oh, go ahead, Doc. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about the peacock. That's a peacock right behind you, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's actually it's 3 peacocks. So you're up above, and then you go down below. As you climb up my steps, there's like 3 peacocks on that piece, and I actually had it custom made. And because I wanted you to notice it as you climb up the steps, so each level you'll see a different peacock. And actually, you know, if you go to market and you see paintings that have jewels in it, that was really my idea, because I was talking to an artist and I was watching those TV channels where you buy the individual jewels, you know, and I put them in a bowl and had them in another room. And I was thinking about putting this piece behind me. And I said, I want something this measurement. I want like 3 peacocks so that when I come up the steps, I'll see one at a time. And I said, can you put jewels in it? Because I looked over and saw my glass of jewels. He said, yeah, I can do that. I got it made. I was so excited. I went to market. I went to like 3 or 4 art places, and I was showing them my creation or this idea that I had. It wasn't three seasons later, they were copying it. So, but you know, what can I do? That's a form of flattery. You know?
Yes, it is.
My wife says there's a lot of Howard Wiggins wannabes.
But as we all know, there's only one Howard, though.
Yeah, but there's a lot of wannabes. They kind of copy me.
Hey, Terry, talk about this. So Tasha and Howard and everyone else, I always say that Terry's got a hidden talent that only she probably knew. And I always say, you need to show more of what you're creating. So I talk about it. She goes, I will. It's just a matter. I want to do my NFTs and everything. I'm like, just put something out there. I mean, the world needs to see what she's created. She's become really good. And I'm proud to know that she's doing stuff like that. So, Terry, you get a chance to talk about what you created.
Well, it's a whole story with artwork and stuff, and I'm still kind of working on it. But it's it's not ready to be announced yet, Brian. I know I keep waiting for the right time, but I'm still working on it, and I'm going to be talking to Monarch on like how I can launch this project. But it's really cool, and it means a lot to me. I mean, it is my artwork, but again, like I just want to make sure I just launch it right and don't prematurely talk about it yet.
And Kris, it is ready. It is ready. She's just.
I have been actually drawing. I was drawing and painting my whole life. I just stopped doing it in college, and I just started doing it lately, the last 2 years again during COVID. But a lot of it's digital art, and it's a different platform than doing paintings. I'm just doing it digitally, which I'm still drawing on an iPad, and still working on it. So it's in process. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna talk to Monarch, and then maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll start talking about it again. How about that, Brian? Fair?
Okay, fair enough. All right, Kris, let's talk about this movie. What's this trailer about? Go ahead, even though I've seen it.
You've seen it. Let's see. This is Jovi and Lou. This is a comedy drama. And, well, I'll just let you guys watch the trailer.
I'll do anything.
You said you would do anything. Is that true? It shouldn't require much explanation. You kill 3 horrible people. I'm talking the worst murdering, backstabbing, incestuous necrophiliacs you could find. Joey.
Lou. And that's our trailer for Jovi and Lou.
Very nice. Cool.
I love that premise on that. I was smiling. I was smiling again because I love how it was created and how it teased. I love stuff like that because this is what I hate as I don't call myself a critic anymore. I never really was. As a movie lover or a movie whore, it's one of those things where if I could figure it out in the first 10 or 15 minutes and I got to sit there for 2 hours and I've already figured it out, that is not a good movie. But I always think of, okay, how can I redeem myself? I'm thinking about the people that actually worked on the movie and everything like that, and it's about them. But talk about this because it's not easy to come up with these concepts, and it's not easy for sometimes distribution, right, Kris?
That's true. Both of those. There's really about, they say 5. There's really 6 different parts of making a movie, and the hardest part is the very first one, which is coming up with a good concept that hasn't been done already. And then the last one is finding the distribution. And when I say distribution, I mean finding distribution that is actually honest, because this industry is, let's just say, known for having a lot of unsavory distributors. And no matter how good your contracts can be, sometimes it's hard for the filmmakers to actually get paid for their work. And this is nothing new. But I've been really lucky that I've gotten with a good distributor, which is probably one of the things that's made us so successful, because you can make the best movie in the world, and if you don't get it to a reputable distributor, then you're not going to find your audience is not going to find you, and even if you do, if they're just not reputable and won't pay you what you're owed, then it's all for naught. So that's probably the hardest part of it, is finding a good reputable distributor.
And Natasha, when it comes to you on getting there, I mean, I found you because you were looking for a great revampation on your bus, and didn't know you had 3, actually 4, and I thought that was fascinating. And the first thing I thought about, what woman has 4 buses, bacon on wheels? That got me, and I said, I got to meet this young lady. That's what got me. It was your mind and how you do it. And as I look at it, I'm like, the second thing I loved about it, it was so sparkling clean. I was like, I got to meet her. I love clean anything. That's just me.
Natasha, was it clean when you got there?
Oh, yes. It was. And it was a rainy day, and the floors were like there was no rain at all. Like it was, and it smelled nice, sparkly. And it just feels like you walk in and it's like such a good energy. You're just like, ooh, I'm ready, So, yeah.
Yay. So we didn't start off with 4 buses. Pretty much, I opened up the business, crazy as it sounds, ready? So we opened up the business. We built it for almost a year and change. By the time that we got it finalized with permitting and stuff, we hosted our first party on March 3rd. And then what happened on March
birthday.
8th?
That's crazy.
Oh, look at that. On March 3rd. And then March 8th, the pandemic came. This was in 2020. So we had one party, which was, everything happens for a reason. It was God sent, to be honest with you, that we had to shut down because, it's a prototype bus. It was a vision, an idea that came about that we didn't know if it was really going to be able to work the way that I envisioned it, right? So we had some things that during this first party, for example, they used the wrong glue to adhere the VCT on the floor, so we were like stuck to the floor as we were walking through. But you fake it till you make it. It looks beautiful in the pictures, right? So we had enough time to remove some things that were not going to work as we thought it would. And once we started back in May, we had the opportunity to blow up from there. I guess it was such a new and innovative concept, and who doesn't want something fresh, new? And not only that, the kids, it was an enclosed small venue that we went to them, so people were not so afraid of bringing their closest family on the bus to host their parties, right? So we actually, during the pandemic, once we were able to open up as a restaurant, we were able to open up and source parties, and we were sold out for 4 months in advance. And you're talking about 3 parties a day, so 6 parties a weekend, sometimes 7 for 3 months out, So yeah, long story short, my husband, my number 1 supporter, saw that the business was doing very well and said, babe, you know what? Before you have Howard, you know how it is. Before you have a copycat, you need to franchise your business. So then that way you're given the opportunity to have your same structure and brand throughout the United States. Was that easy? That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life to date. To date. Franchising is not as easy as they sell it to be, but it's definitely worth it. Because, you know, buying a franchise, you don't have to think of the packages. You don't have to think of how it's going to work. I've already went through all the trials and tribulations. I know what will and will not work, you know. So then we went ahead and we built up Broward, which I'm forever grateful for those ladies. Broward, Florida is the franchise bus that's up and running right now. And then we have a second bus in Miami. So we have 2 buses working simultaneously together in Miami. And then we have 1 bus in Broward County, and then we have another bus still ready to launch in Atlanta. We're just looking for a franchise to sell it to in Atlanta, which the demand is huge for Atlanta and Chicago, but I can't corporate own every single bus. I'm a mom and a wife and a family lady before I am a business owner.
Well, and that's why I reached out to her. I wanted the audience to see something that I know they hadn't seen before. And I got to thank you for that, and congratulations to both of you, because that's not easy doing what you guys are both doing.
Thank
not
you.
At all. So now I'm going to sneak in some movies because I got time. All right, go ahead, Rebel. I know you're going to say something.
We have one more trailer to play.
All right.
There's nothing sweeter than baked goodies on your special day. That's why Bacon on Wheels is bringing the baking party right to your doorstep. So get ready to jump on the bus and bake with us. Bacon on Wheels is truly the sweetest way to wow your party guests. It's the first of its kind, and it's never been seen before. With a wide selection of frosting-filled entertainment packages, a fully equipped bakery kitchen on wheels, and a team of hands-on confectionery crew members, your only job is to get on board and enjoy the fun. As the party host, you have the option to entertain your guests with our baking and caking experience, have a day of donut and cookie decorating, or dive into cakesicles and chocolate-dipped caramel wand making. With so many confectionery package options to choose from, we happily cater to a wide variety of age groups and skill levels. So let us take the wheel while you decorate the cake. Bacon on Wheels is a convenient, unforgettable party entertainment experience that will leave your guests sugar-coated and fun. So what are you waiting for? Jump on the bus and bake with us. To book your party today, visit bacononwheels.com.
Excellent trailer. Very, very good.
Really good.
Thank you.
Natasha, what was your favorite thing that you went? I saw those donuts. I'm like, oh my God, I got to have one of those things.
Well, you know, before I went to Natasha, I had eaten like 3 donuts. So by the time that I got to her, I was
That's
so
true.
Like, I had so many sweets, and I made the beautiful little cupcake. She's like, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "I do, but I don't at the same time," because I was just up to here with sweets. But honestly, the mix, and I mean, it smelled good, so I'm pretty sure it tastes good and amazing. You know, I don't think Natasha would be selling some whack, you know, icing. Like, it's actually like.
I will say our most popular item are the fluffy and delicious donuts. I have to have one every time I'm on the bus, but it's not a good thing. The fasting.
No, very, very good trailer. Who did the trailer for you?
My team that does. So the video was Thomas. He is known very well in Miami for doing trailers and marketing videos for companies. And then my photography was Gigi Photography, and she does more. She's actually Atlanta based, funny enough. She does more like children's photography, but I know her. She's a personal friend of mine. I told her, who better than Gigi to come out, and we love photography. It's called We, W-E-E, Love Photography.
And talk about your daughter, your first employee.
Well, my daughter is here somewhere. My daughter was my first employee. So when I opened up the business, Brianna was going into her senior year of high school. And who better than to have a vice president than your own daughter? But let me tell you, in my family, you have to earn it. It's not given. So the business is not hers unless she earns the business. It belongs to me, myself, and I. And if she works towards owning the business and shows interest in the business, then of course she will be rewarded for her hard work. But she's going to college now, and she did an excellent job helping me. She was my right hand for 3 years, and Saturdays all day from 9:45 in the morning till sometimes 10:30 at night. We grinded on that bus nonstop. I think she's here. We could have a special guest if she's here somewhere, but yeah.
If she's here, I want to meet her real quick. Tell her she's got 5 minutes.
Brianna, you have 5 minutes. Come on, they want to meet you. Give me 1 second. Let's see if she comes on in.
And
this
when
is
she
my
comes
daughter,
in,
Brianna.
Oh, there she is.
Hi.
See, she's got to be good because she's named after me, Brian.
So you got to be good because you're named after him, Brian. So what is it like to be a co-owner of Bake It on Wheels? How's your experience, Bri?
Honestly, it's opened just so many different like parts in my mind. Like I didn't really expect to be able to interact with so many children on all types of personalities, and it really just helped me with like my social skills, even though they're children. But it got me to be able to explain things that I never thought that I could explain, and like just different varieties of children all the time. So
we work closely with, what do we work closely with? What type of?
All sorts of children. Just
special populations.
Yeah.
So one of our favorite things to do are the Down syndrome, autistic, special populations.
They're the sweetest in the world. I love them to death. So it definitely taught me patience and also just love for different types of individuals.
Natasha and Brianna, give your social media links for everybody.
My Instagram is Herrera. So it's HER3RA. That's mine. And then obviously Bake It on Wheels.
Cool.
Terry, Nonstop? Social media links.
Nonstop Terry Marie on all platforms, terrymarieofficial.com.
Howard?
Howard Wiggins Facebook. In 4 more weeks, I'll be turning 70, so.
Happy birthday.
Wish me happy
birthday.
Exactly. And Terry just had her birthday. Happy birthday to you, Terry, also.
Yeah, July 30th.
And Tosh, go ahead.
Ooh, Vocally Tosh on all social media platforms. And don't forget to stream my song Hangyad on all streaming platforms. And watch my YouTube video on YouTube, Natasha Brumbos. And keep a lookout because I have a new song that I'm now in the creative direction of doing a music video. So you'll be having new music soon from Tosh Baby. And then listen to me on the radio on La Mega 97.5 in Rochester, New York.
Every Sunday. What's the hours? What time?
Oh, from 4 to 8 every Sunday.
And Kris Young, I'm going to give you the last word before I talk about these independent films, which I'm definitely going to get in. Talk about why people should watch your films and what are you looking for when you want to make films? Because we got 3 actors here. I am not one. You couldn't pay me to be in a film. But they're there.
Let's see. What am I looking for in a film? It just depends on the film because, I make so many. I don't make just one particular genre. So I've made a couple of horrors. I've made a female-driven action film. Made a couple of thrillers. And then Jovi Lou is our comedy. So, and you can find my last 3 on Tubi. It's the best place to watch them. You can watch them for free on Tubi.com. And you can find me on Instagram at producer Kris Young or through my website, which is 19 Artist Development, which is 19artistdevelopment.com.
And again, I always tell people this. So this is what happened. Kris reached out to me. I said yes. I have no problem doing that. I've had some filmmakers reach out to me and I can't reach them. I email them back right immediately. Nothing. Drives me nuts.
What was so great about you, Brian, is that you actually called me, and I thought that was so intriguing that you literally took the time, to give me a call. And we talked for quite some time that day. And it was just wonderful. I just really appreciate you giving us this platform to be able to reach our audience members.
That's why it's called Movie Reviews and More. I'm going to talk about 3 films real quick. Oh, got to talk about Drum Corps. That's our latest number on Alignable Beverly Hills. Drum Corps show, which was this past weekend. Congratulations to the Blue Devils Drum Corps in Concord, California. I always ride my e-scooter, ride in style, okay, to every movie I go to, Kris, no matter what, and the company loves that. Casper Troopers did really well this year from Casper, Wyoming. I was happy about them, and obviously I look forward to seeing the Marvels with that. Only in theaters. Ooh, loved Spirit of Atlanta, out of Atlanta, Georgia. They did really, really well this year, and I love doing anything with kids in the activity. They should never have to pay them to go on tour. So I always say this, because we're out of time. I'm going to talk about this one. Only in the theaters, Lindley Theaters in Los Angeles, the oldest family-run movie theater in the world, and it's one of those great things on how the Laemmle family started. And if you know Universal City, Universal Studios, the horror films, Kris, you know this, that's that family. That's how they started. It's how their legacy, and they're almost, I hope they stay in business for another 2 years, but we'll see. And so I want to thank everybody, because it's not easy doing these shows, but I'm glad. It's always about making sure and showcasing everybody's business, their projects, whether you're a singer-songwriter or a former interior designer who's now a current dancer or a non-stop Terry Marie. So I say this to everybody, including Rebel. Have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. You see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours, because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.